This is Sarah Poff and her art hands. They're a gift from God. I'm the multimedia storyteller, and I have another story to tell to you tonight. So I like to do simple crafts. I like to do crafts that save the earth, leave a smaller carbon footprint when we get finished. And I like to just, be easy to find supplies and for you to be able to have some on hand. So this is something that I learned. I learned most of what I do from either articles. I used to scan back in the 1970s. I scanned every teacher's magazine article that the other teachers would let me look at back then. I was always looking for ideas. So these are butterflies, as you see, all different kinds and shapes. There's some that bodies have actually plastic little bodies. That doesn't happen very often. I used to be able to afford those when I was teaching, and then there came a point I didn't. So you can use, to put the bodies together, you can use chenille wires. Those are nice if you have them. I didn't always have the money to buy those, so I would get the parents to save me twist ties. Oh, that butterfly's fun. You can use him on either side. These are some red ones. I was lucky and ran into a garage sale that the person was doing jewelry, and she had a bunch of gold ones. Also, I was looking back at what I've done in the past, and I taped them. And then, you can add on. We'll just go ahead and do that one. This one's taped together, and then we can add on the antennas like that. So there's a multitude of ways to do this. Those people who have watched me through other videos, I like to vary it depending on the age of the student, because these could actually be very ornate. It looks like I could have maybe here we go. Alright, so we're going to leave that one. And here's one that I think this is one of the first ones I did. You can see I added a little glitter around it. I also took a permanent marker, because this is Slick Magazine. The ones that are here are all magazine pages. So I used to go around collecting out of the trash all the magazines, especially the ones that had a lot of nature scenes. So Missouri Conservation was one that when they got finished with it, they knew I might like. And then you can decorate it. I have a little paint glitter pen that I got for the grands, and that's what I used on that one. However, when I used to do it with younger children, they just thought it was fun to cut it out and put the twist tie on it and see who could make the most. Hi, Janelle. Good to see you tonight. So I'll show you a couple different ways, because as you see, they're all different shapes. And older kids, of course, can just, do their own. Younger kids, that's a little bit harder. So younger kids, I just took and made a shape. Is this the correct shape? It's just the one I did that day. So that way they could just lay it down on here. We'll do it up in this green section. And that way it gives them a little, if the article had, there's people in here. So if we don't want the people, that way we can kind of judge this a little bit and not have people in there. So if I were doing this with younger children, I would not give them the Sharpie. And I would not have them outline it unless you're going to sit right there with them. But I did notice that made it look a lot better. So I'm going to do this Sharpie around the edges before I even cut it out, because I thought that made it look nicer. I hope you're having a good day. I've kind of gotten into a little bit more of a routine. And today, hi Mildred, how are you today? I heard you had some company out fishing. I got to ride out in then our little roadster car across the lake today. I didn't get out. I didn't get out at all, except, at home. So I'm trying to mind. My daughter wants me to mind her. And I do. I don't want to get this. I'm trying really hard to stay home, to visit with my friends like this. So these are, Mildred, these are my butterfly collection. I used to do this in summer school. Sometimes it was hard to get the supplies for summer school real quick. You didn't get your budget money till, at least in art, you didn't get it till you knew how many kids were going to be there. And so it was kind of a hard challenge to know what to teach them and how to have enough supplies. So I would collect the conservation magazines. And then that was one of my sources, or any other magazine that someone was getting rid of. And then we would make things with it. All right, so I'm going to cut on the outside of this line because I want that black line to be there because I really think that added something to it. So I'm trying out some new lighting. I was able to get my lighting closer to me. They say I'll get better at these videos if I just keep shooting them. Keep doing it. Keep trying. So if you guys have any hints for me on how to make it better, I'm open. I'm open. I want to see if I can, keep improving. Do you like the white in the back? Do you like that better than seeing the clutter? John thinks I ought to put let my bookcase show or something like that. But I think it's hard. It's hard for you all to see what I've got here on the table when I've got a lot in the background like that. All right, so I'm going to do a couple of shapes here that I think about maybe when I think about a butterfly. And if you've got different colors of Sharpies, you could do that. You could cut out little pieces of paper and glue them on. There's just a lot of ways this could be done. Sure do hope the sun shines tomorrow. That sunshine just helps us feel better. Put a few dots. Now I'm going to set this one to the side because sometimes the Sharpie, when it's on a slick page, it kind of needs to dry just a little bit. So here's the one that I undid, and you can see that I fan folded it. So I fan folded it like that. I'm going to use the chenille wire on this one. So I'm going to lap the chenille wire around a couple times. And then I'm going to twist it. And then, you can bend those. You could even add a little piece of paper there if you wanted. Sometimes the kids want to add a little bit more of an eye. The other thing I thought about is I have a bunch of magnets that doctors give you, or wherever you are, realtor, wherever you happen to be, that they're passing things out. And so you might not have a magnet at your house, but you might be able to come up with a business card that is a magnet that you could glue on the back there. All right. So let's go back to this one. I'm going to move this so you can maybe see it a little bit better. So now what I'm going to do is go just fan fold. And I'm going to fan fold it is a little bit smaller if I can. I always try to get the children to do that, but when I'm working with, the kindergartner and first graders to do that, that's a really tough thing for them to do. Because what they want to do is they want to roll it over like that. They don't want to flip. They want it to be done quickly, easy, quick job. And I took my rings off tonight because I also read that it was hard to clean and that germs stayed a lot on that metal. So I just decided that I'd just take that little measure too. All right. So I'm going to tape this one. If I was doing it with a lot of kids, I wouldn't tape, because that's why I did the chenille wires or the twist ties. Okay. You know, that tape is just too wide. I do not like that tape. Because I did that coloring, and now you can't even hardly see it because the tape is there. You know, see, I don't always get it right. I'm just always experimenting, learning more, trying something different. All right. So let's try this again. We're going to open this up a little bit. And put one of these gold ones on it. Okay, there's my little butterfly. Now, one of the ways, if you have older children, what you can do is you can have them take that whole sheet of paper and they can cut a shape kind of like this. You can see this is a magazine that, I think it was called the Cricket magazine. And so this is one that older kids can work with. But it's just a little bit harder on the folding because then they've got to almost start here in the middle on that fold. And I could have folded it the other way. I mean, this is one of those that's an experimental thing that you can try what makes it look better. But I was thinking these would be, with all the flowers and it getting close to Easter, these would be fun to have on the refrigerator, to hang, make them a bunch of them, and make a mobile out of it. Add to our little Easter collection. My dad always bought me a lot of bulbs after he moved to this house with us, and those flowers are starting to pop up. As I told my sister today, I would come home from work and he had ordered 100 bulbs. He didn't just order like 20. He ordered 100. And then, the conversation for the next couple of weeks was, when are you going to plant those? When are you going to plant those? Haven't you planted those yet? Oh. But now they give me good memories. Parents live too far away to decorate graves, so we just have our decorations in our yard. All right, this time I'm going to see about putting two of these together. I'm just going to twist them together. When I'm twisting like this, I always tell the kids it's like a twist tie for the bread wrapper. And they're looking at me like, what do you mean? They just need to work with their hands more. And that testing that they do for them, it just... Teachers are too focused on the test, and they don't take time to help them with hands-on. So I saw my subject change a lot over all that time. Okay, and then I can bring it back out. See, I like the ones that I did with the older children. The shapes, because they can kind of decide some shapes how they like those. Or like this one, it's, with these two pieces were together. So they can even do that. This one's a little bit thinner paper. Okay, we're going to do the brown one here. But you can see how this would be a fun activity to, make. And this, with everything that's going on right now, this would be a fun one to make and then go leave on your neighbor's house in front of it. Especially if you had someone who is having trouble getting out and doesn't want to get out. All right, let's see. Oh, I was also thinking that we could do a piece of, you don't have to do the recycle. These are just, my collection of recycled ones I've done. You can just do a piece of paper, a regular piece of paper. All right, so I'm going to fold it. And I'm going to, see if I can, I'm going to unfold this one. We're going to look at that shape. Okay, so it's the shape I kind of did a while ago, except that it's folded the opposite way. All right. You can see that? So I'm going to do like this. I'm going to cut down in here. And then this one would be a good one to use markers with. As I say, it just depends on how you feel that day. Some days it's a colored pencil and crayon day. Some days it's a marker day. Some days it's a paint day. It's a paint day. Okay, I'm not going to take time to do the decoration on it. I'm just going to want to fold it and show you the difference. Now with this one, it's a little easier, to start on one side to fold. I liked having my camera the horizontal way, but everything, it's backwards. Things are backwards in it. So I'm trying to learn how to overcome that part. Always, the ones I have on YouTube, before I started putting these on there, I shot them with a camera. Back in the day when I was shooting them at school, I had a camera that I would use. Of course, I had to bring my own from home, but that's just how it is. Okay, so now I'm going to take a couple of red twist ties. Just twisting them together. But yes, the race would be on. The race was always on to see who could make the most butterflies before they left Mrs. Pop's class. They loved it. Now see, I don't know. I think I like it loose. If you do it too tight, then you don't see it. It's not quite as pretty. So that's something to consider when you're making them. We want to hide that piece in the back maybe here. Okay, I'm going to make it a little looser so that when I let go of it, it can just fill up that area. Okay, you know what? We're going to switch. Hi, Terry. Good to see you tonight. We're doing trial and error on some things. Sometimes you win and sometimes you got to experiment and try something else. So that's just kind of how life is, seems like. Okay, I'm going to fold this. Oh, that could even be dragonfly-ish when you do like that. All right, there's my butterfly, my butterflies. These will keep the children busy for a while. Busy for quite a while. And all you have to do is have some old magazines, or you could have a stack of colored copy paper. Colored copy paper, let's see. I still want to see what this is like, since I did the chenille wire on there. Can I make it looser still? No, see, it needs to be fairly snug in there for it to hold together. So that would be maybe the limitation of some of this. Hi, Sandra. Good to see you. We're making butterflies with colored copy paper, but also we're taking just different magazines, especially like things that have a nature scene in them, and we're making butterflies. See, this one is a page out of a magazine. So that's what I'm showing tonight. I just wanted something easy. Twist ties is what we used. So I'm gonna unfold this and then show you. See, you can tell it is a Cricket magazine. I was always going around at school collecting all the magazines. And then we just fold it, we just fan fold it. So twist ties. I know you have some little grandkids out there, Sandra, and they might be able to enjoy some fan folding. And then you can put tape around here. You can put a chenille wire. You can put, I had a twist tie on there. You can outline them if you want them to look fancier. Of course, I outlined this with permanent since it's a slick page. It was the cover of that magazine. And then you can put a magnet on the back if you want. So like that. All right, well, thank you all for watching me. This is Sarah Poff, and those art hands, they're a gift from God. You have a great day now.